live. Coming at you from the party barn.
Party burn.
I'm tired, man. I'm like I'm looking at this mango energy drink that I mixed that looks like pee that you haven't drank a lot of water for a couple of days. And
Looks like liquid rust.
yeah, when you're peeing liquid rust, you know you need to drink some water. Your body tells you things, just so you know.
Yeah, 100%. Hello, Josh.
We should probably go ahead and do the Hey, we're live, Steve.
Hey, we're live, Steve.
I need to have a way that's just scheduled, but I'm gonna do this real quick.
Yeah, here's what you do. Schedule it.
Hey, everybody, me and Mac are live. We're doing some we're doing some stuff at Rough Draft. Oh wait, yeah, Rough Draft Conversations. Come check us out. That's who just made that "oh yeah" sound. So that you know it's live. We should have like the newspaper from the day, so we'd be like, it is today.
They still make newspapers?
I don't know, but anyway, hey everybody, come check us out. Rough Draft Conversations on Twitch and YouTube. Bye.
Do they still make newspapers? I don't know either. Josh says yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Actually, okay, so let's hash out some of the topics. We're definitely going to talk about Arkansas. I want to open with Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Because that's a good one.
That's exciting. I definitely want to talk about vaccine passports.
Only for wiping your butt in the woods is what Pescatio said. I thought that's what water bottles were for.
That's for enemas in the woods.
And be a man, use your hand.
Have you seen that guy on TikTok? The guy that's like, you want to have a baby and you're a man? Don't. Kids suck. Be a man. And then there's like these guys just laugh. Dude, he's so funny, man. Like he... Okay, so we want to talk about... We need a third topic, and I can't remember what the other one I want to talk about. Oh, I think that it's fair for us. I think chat should probably get involved in this really quickly. Texas, it's time for us to start analyzing the numbers of COVID cases.
Oh, yeah.
I think that we got another week to talk about it.
Texas and Florida, because
yeah,
Florida is, spring break hotspot right now.
Right, but
everybody's
then see with Florida, we would need to. The problem with Florida is that the people that are in Florida. Well, yeah, that's a whole different problem.
The problem with Florida is not Florida, man.
A lot of people go to Florida for vacation, and that's the problem though, is that we don't. So, like, let's say that everybody's like, it's going to increase cases of COVID. Yeah. Florida might not see an increase in COVID, but little pockets of the country would, because it's all the people that came in and then they went back home, right? So that's what sucks, is that we don't have the data from that. But like Texas, who the fuck goes to Texas for spring break?
Soft Florida topic, real quick. There's a dude that got fired from Disney World.
Oh.
Because he was running around drinking water out of like the fountains and shit before he even was at work.
Right. Yeah. And
they're like, fountain water? 1 out of 10. And they were like, you need to take those down because it's causing a bad image. I'm like, he's drinking fountain water as a joke. Obviously, it's going to taste like shit because it's got fucking coins in it. It's got probably a diaper in there at one point.
Right. Yeah.
It's chlorinated. Right. Obviously, it's going to taste bad.
Yeah. I mean, Disney is all about their image. Like, you know that under Disney, is an entire system of tunnels, and that's so that you don't see any of, like, the working staff.
Yeah.
So, like, there's all this illusion around Disney. Don't get me wrong. When you're at Disney, it's actually eerie how little, like, working staff you see for how clean the parks are maintained, how... Like, it's an eerie thing to think about. So they do a good job of creating this illusion...
Bite you? Dude, look at the size of Texas, and you have like 3 spots to go for vacation.
Okay.
For spring break.
Someone comes and holds a gun to your head and says, name 5 vacation spots in the United States. Go. What is the first 5 that come to your mind?
Disney World, Universal,
Disneyland, New York City.
Cedar Point.
Yeah, Cedar Point. Right, well, yeah, that's a local thing. Right,
Right.
So that's locals. But I mean, most people are going to say like New York City, Chicago, L.A., Florida as a state is pretty much a place to go to. And then, like
Nashville,
I said,
Tennessee.
so like maybe Tennessee. I think you could maybe Nashville for music.
Because country.
Right, because of music.
Yeah.
But like my point is, Texas. There's not a single place in Texas that falls in the top 10 list.
Yeah, no.
Maybe
Cancun,
the top 20.
Maybe Cancun, top 10.
Isn't that Mexico?
Pretty much.
So my point is, it's like I can't think like what's the thing in. Is there a
no, Josh? It's because we're not from fucking Texas and a bunch of dummies.
I mean, Texas could.
Do you want to go? Hey, bro. Do you want to go to the desert and then drive 70,000 hours, be in the same state in a swamp?
Nah, dude. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm cool.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think Texas has places that are beautiful. I think when I drove down, like Amarillo isn't that, but when I drove through Amarillo, before you get to Amarillo, there's like beautiful like bluegrass hills with windmills, and it's like gorgeous, right? Like gorgeous is
gorgeous.
Angry
Jackie
Action.
said she would never say Chicago. Been there, done that. It's fucking stupid.
It is. It is. It really is.
It's so
Don't get me
dumb.
wrong. Like walking the mile and stuff is cool, and like being in a city is cool.
Chicago
for a day.
So I put Chicago and New York in kind of the same category.
Right.
Is like places I don't want to go.
Right. Well, I mean, like my wife didn't grow up around that kind of stuff, and her closest big city was LA. And LA isn't like a city where there's like this metroplex. LA is just like this flat, large. It's like Jacksonville, Florida, but bigger, if that makes sense, right? So it's like
it's shitty and
right.
big.
Yes. It's not like there's like a city, like a hustle and bustle hub of LA because LA sprawls so far, right? It's just neighborhood and neighborhood, neighborhood, neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I think that like Chicago and New York, the reason that they have such allure is because it's just like rows of skyscrapers, right? There's just building after building, and it looks cool. It's cool one time. And then you're like,
I feel like after you get that initial like, oh fuck, that's a skyscraper. It's over.
Right, you lose the allure.
Yeah,
I think Chicago, like I said, I think America hopefully gets out of this hustle and bustle. Like
it's not gonna happen though.
I know, but it's just so dumb. Well, I would argue it's not. It is because people are leaving. People are leaving LA.
Well,
people are leaving Chicago. People are leaving.
People
New York
are
City.
leaving the West Coast and coming out here.
Yeah, that's what sucks though is we're getting all these stupid. I wouldn't call them immigrants because they're national people moving, but it's like we're getting all these transplants.
There's been an influx of stupidity.
Sure.
In the Midwest specifically.
Yeah.
Because of all these people running away from California.
Right.
And Washington and Oregon. They're out here like,
yeah. And
where's my barista?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. What cracks me up is they're leaving all of these places because the policies that they voted for are failures.
Yeah.
And then they come out here and then they vote for those same policies as if it's going to be different here. Like you don't get it.
You don't do that. It's not how it works.
It's so weird.
And then they get pissed off when they're out here and they vote for a policy that we know is stupid.
Right.
And it fails.
Right.
We're like, you guys don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Big example here
Back
is
to
that
California.
stupid bus line in Indianapolis, man.
The red line?
Yeah, the red line. People are losing their mind like we need to fund this, we need to happen.
We don't.
And I'm like,
it's
no.
Trash.
I think that what there is a struggle right now is that people keep wanting to make cities bigger. Like they want Indianapolis to get bigger. But we're about to enter the era where cities are no longer necessary. Mm-hmm. Cities were necessary for a while in history because
we didn't have the goddamn internet.
Right, exactly. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the ability to do a lot of this stuff at lightning speed across the world.
I didn't have the ability to order 15,000 pounds of chicken, 18 screws, fucking 4 flip-flops, and a goddamn pair of tennis shoes and have it arrive at my house the next day.
Right, the next day, right? Yeah, so we've hit this weird point where it's like we need to get away from this like city-centric mentality.
Yeah.
And I think it would actually help a lot. I think that if people weren't living on top of each other in concrete jungles, I think that policies would be different. I think people would think a lot less about.
I feel like at that point people would think a lot less about race.
That's what I was about to say. I was literally about to say that. So like think about this. You're mad at your neighbor, right? Because you've got an obnoxious neighbor.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. Let's say you're a black guy and your neighbor's a white guy and he's obnoxious as all get out.
Yeah.
And he's doing meth or whatever it is that he's doing all the time.
I thought you said doing math for a second.
Math, yeah, he's in there. No, that would be an Asian neighbor.
Arithmetic.
It's a joke.
Arithmetic.
Right, arithmetic. But anyway, so while he's doing this meth and stuff, you harbor these feelings, right?
Yeah.
And then you start to associate that with his skin color.
Right.
Because that's the one identifying thing about him is different from your own. But if you live out in the middle of nowhere and that hilljack is off doing his meth and being obnoxious in his house all by himself, you just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those things like
Muscadio said, but it's the allure of cities is that you can walk a city block and like do like 20 different things. Okay, here's the thing about the country. I can walk the fuck outside and do like 4 million different things.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
I can go pick leaves. I can make a fucking bird nest.
Rocks.
I can kill all of those birds and eat them.
Yeah, you can do a lot.
I can skip rocks in a lake. I can throw big rocks into a creek. Is he throwing rocks in the lake?
Yeah. Ooh, he finds a big stick. Yeah.
I can chop down a tree. I can fucking have fun, snowboard, whatever, in the middle of fucking nowhere. When's the last time you snowboarded in a city?
Well, right. That's my point. Is they all come out to our areas.
They all go to nowhere.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I think that I understand what they're saying, but it's convenience, and we've hit this point where it's like I've always argued. Everybody talks about instant gratification society.
Yeah.
I think that we were already past that point. Like when you're at the point that you can walk a block and then all of a sudden you literally have access to everything. Food, shelter, a place to sleep, all of that stuff is
Jackie.
What'd she say?
She said, or like here, you can stand out on your deck with your cell phone and jack off into a FaceTime video, and only one person would see you, as opposed to 20.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think that it's kind of one of those things, and that's one of the reasons like why New York City specifically rubs me very wrong.
Yeah.
So like, look at New York circa 90s and now today, because we've reduced police forces there. Yeah. Like, I don't want to. So my counter argument to you have one city block to walk and then you have everything, but also in that one city block, my chances of being murdered, robbed, raped are all infinitely higher, like extremely high. Whereas here, like I've got a convenience store that's maybe 3/4 of a mile away.
Maybe
I could walk to that convenience store. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna touch me, right? That's not. It's just because the probability of me seeing another person on that walk is slim, right? So I don't know, man. I think that I think the allure of cities is. I mean, but dude, at the same time too, like we're almost to the point where I think we're gonna have drones with hot boxes on them, and you're gonna be able to like, oh man, I could really go for a. So Indianapolis has this famous steakhouse called St. Elmo's. Me and Mac be sitting here and be like, dude, I just got a windfall of cash. Let's get some St. Elmo's. And then all of a sudden a drone comes in with a hot box that has our food that was literally made 7 minutes ago because it doesn't take that long for a drone to fly right here.
Yeah.
Flies right here, leaves it on my porch. We go out and get a baked potato and a steak sitting in our home. I think that we're not that far from that.
I mean, Amazon already does that.
Right. They do it with like certain things, but I'm talking about food. Like with because the things that we want, the possessions.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying with the drones even. Like they have drones that will fly and drop your shit off for you.
Right. Yeah, but like DVDs and it's not like it's it's not like it's a meal. But yes, I agree. We are at that point. Like we're already there. It's just a couple more steps. Yeah. So why do I need to go to the city?
I wonder how big that drone would have to be.
I don't know.
Because like
I need a minute. I'll be right back.
The motor technology.
Take this off for a minute.
Oh my God. Welcome to half of a podcast. Where I'm going to sit here and talk to you guys because Nostalgic has to go take a shit. Hello, be nervous. I'm not nervous. I do this. This is literally my job. Like I'm entertaining 99% of the time. I have fucking kids. We're all watching you. Good. Keep watching. Comment on the YouTube videos. St. Elmo's is not that great, but a drone would be cool. Yeah, I don't think St. Elmo's is that great, to be honest. And that's just a Midwestern thing, really. They're also owned by Arby's, which is pretty cool. We need wireless cam for moments like this where we can follow it. Dude, do you know how much one wireless camera costs that would be able to stream not only in here, but also back to his house? It'd be like $30,000 for that camera. Have I ever been to the Grand Canyon? Yeah, I have. I love Arby's. Dude, me too. And I used to work there, and like, you would think that after working at a restaurant, you would get tired of their food because that's literally all I ate for like 2 years, like a year or something. But I don't. I love it. And if you haven't ever got a packet of Bronco berry sauce and put it on your fucking roast beef sandwich, you're not doing it right. It says $75 at Taco Bell. You ate $75 of Taco Bell? Yeah. Arby's is dope. But yeah, what is there to do at the Grand Canyon? I mean, there's tourist attractions. You can take mule rides down the canyon. There's all kinds of stuff to do there. It's like touristy. It's just a beautiful place to sit and look at nature, really. So the new jalapeno sliders. I don't really like the taste of jalapeno. Like, it's not that it's hot. I just don't like the taste of jalapeno. I take the Arby's sauce and mix it with the horsey sauce. And a troll. Who's a troll? Who a troll? Yeah, Arby's sauce and horsey sauce is okay, but like Bronco berry sauce, bro, so good. We're gonna talk about Arkansas. Arkansas. Okay, first off, why is Arkansas said as Arkansas and Kansas is said as Kansas? Because that's fucking stupid. It makes no sense. Talk about vaccine passport, Arkansas. What? Let me run out and check other topics. What? You can answer what, actually? English makes no sense, right? French colonized Kansas. That actually doesn't make sense because the French colonizing Kansas, I would think, would make it the Kansas sound, like Arkansas. I don't know. But Arkansas did start passing legislature, was it a couple of weeks ago? They finally just passed it. Let me look at the actual name of the thing here because it's pretty awesome. I think it was SB 18 passed in Arkansas. So what SB 18 is that, and I'll just briefly touch on it while he's having issues. SB 18 was the rights to parents during a divorce for custody. And so predominantly in the United States, so we have reactive fires here and one that was creeping up. Holy shit. I don't think you have a YouTube about it. Oh no. What is it, babe? So SB 18 was geared for where we have predominantly a female perspective from divorcees, where states typically side with the woman for parental rights. No matter if the woman is a good person, a bad person, a crazy person, whatever, they have predominantly always believed that no matter what, the child is better with their mother. And so Arkansas set out to even the stakes on that. And wow, that's a lot of delay. And Arkansas set out with SB 18 to even the playing field, so to speak. And so with equal rights comes equal rights in everything. And SB 18 changed it in the state of Arkansas to where families, divorcing families, so split households, now have joint custody initially. So when everything gets said and done, as soon as the divorce papers are filed, joint custody is established and all of the rules for joint custody are established, eliminating some of the need for like child support.
So it does get rid of child support.
It does get rid of child support because it is complete joint custody. I was about to say
that's a huge thing to me.
Because the state of Arkansas have found that a lot of women that get children are also making pretty decent money.
Right.
And so then having the father suffer and not be able to provide for the children on his own when he has the visitation is really unjust. And so
yeah, I think like I've never been through a divorce, right?
Right.
I don't want to go through a divorce,
it's
right?
The worst.
I think that it sounds pretty terrible. It's already a nightmare from like a logistical standpoint of like splitting your assets, the toll it has emotionally on each of the people involved, the kids, yada, yada, yada.
And what's really cool and with SB 18 is a lot of other states actually identify children as assets. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right. So SB 18 in Arkansas is making children people again, basically.
Right.
And like children need their fathers, children need their mothers. There is a dynamic there that has to happen.
Yeah, not even from like a gender thing.
Right.
You just need parents because typically parents have like differing kind of styles, right? Like my wife and I have two very different parenting styles. They need to have a balance of not one adult being the I didn't see chat yet.
Oh wow.
What is the oh wow?
So my wife read an article that says that Minnesota now says that if you drink or did any drugs and then you are raped, it is not rape because you willingly drugged yourself.
I
would have to read the whole article,
I have to sit on this, but just that statement. So the whole purpose of Rough Draft Conversation.
Bro, it's if you're too intoxicated to consent, you didn't give consent.
Right, and that's rape.
100%.
So there are times, though. Does that mean that if you're intoxicated and you rape someone that you're also free from?
I mean, I would assume so.
Do you see what I'm saying? Because like what I'm getting at is like, let's say you and a person get drunk.
Yeah.
You and a person that you're attracted to doesn't, we don't have to make it man and woman. Just
yeah.
And you're with that person, they're drunk and you're drunk.
Yeah.
And then you have sex. And while you're having sex, both of you seem to be okay with it. And then one person's like, oh my God, did we have sex? You raped me. The other person be like, bro, I don't even remember yesterday.
Right.
I was drunk.
Right.
So I'll get out. Or high or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Does that absolve them? Because we don't feel that way about drunk driving. Like drunk driving is...
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, out here, we had like this small victory in our township, like in this area.
Yeah.
There's this kid that was like 22. He worked at the Kroger. Everybody knew him. He was a nice guy. And he got killed by a drunk driver.
Yeah.
And they put signs everywhere in the township about not driving drunk. And the woman that killed him in the car was she was sentenced to 12 years.
Nice.
So we're at least happy that she got 12 years. And I think she got like involuntary slaughter.
Yeah. That's what usually happens with DWI. Yeah.
It's just my point is we don't absolve them, right? Drunk drivers, so we wouldn't do the same. I just look at this as like the worst thing ever on like college campuses, right? Where you get 2 college kids and then.
So this is the actual article, copy pasted. Minneapolis. A person who is sexually assaulted while intoxicated does not fit the designation for more serious charge if he or she consumed the alcohol or drugs voluntarily. The Minnesota Supreme Court said that the ruling was released on Wednesday.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Fuck?
I don't know how I feel about this.
Right.
I'm actually kind of in the middle. Yes, it's actually kind of. I think we're always quick to jump to outrage, right, as a society. So I'm trying to be a little bit level-headed here. I don't agree, right, with that overall sentiment. Because then what that tells me is you get these guys that go and find these overly drunk women, and that's like all they do is like have sex with women that are overly drunk and would regret it. But once again, regret isn't rape. That's the other thing that I think we need to really talk about here is that if you just regret having sex with someone because you made a bad decision while under the influence, that's not rape. And the problem is that we do equate that to rape, and a lot of women do call that rape.
Right.
And so I don't know, man. Like that's kind of a. I don't know how I feel about it.
I would have to read more on the actual law.
Yeah,
that's
and why this happened.
Right.
Right. Like, are they just having like a massive influx of
false accusations,
rape accusations or something?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Is this a bunch of old white dudes who are pissed because some woman regretted having sex with them, and so they're trying to protect themselves from, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't know, right? So, like, I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about this. We're still on this men's rights thing. This is a huge win for men, man. I think that
the SB 18.
SB 18 is no, not the rape thing.
That's the rape thing.
We got bad segue there. What I meant to say was not a victory. That is not a victory for men. We're talking about the divorce. SB 18 is a victory for men. Where
I think it's a big victory for children.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the kids.
Yeah,
I mean, adults are adults. Get over yourselves. Egos.
Dude, chick, dude, chick. I don't give a fuck.
You know, and everything too is like so. Like,
I think it really is a victory for kids because now their parents don't, at least in Arkansas, have the ability to use them as pawns and don't have the ability to use them as a weapon.
Yeah, I think they still will.
They'll try.
I mean, that happens with my buddy and his wife, where she accuses him of stuff that gets Child Protective Services involved and blah blah blah. But no, I think that we needed something like this. I think so. There's like a whole subreddit called Men's Rights, and a lot of it I roll my eyes at. There's a couple of things about men's rights that I don't roll my eyes at. One is if a man and a woman copulate and have a child, and she becomes pregnant.
Yes,
the woman can have an abortion whether he wants her to or not. Absolutely,
right.
We as a society, like, I'm not even pro-abortion. I'm not a big fan of it, but I understand if a woman wants to do that. In the end, I look at it as it's not a morality thing, like it's not biblical or anything along those lines. I always tell my parents, I said, just because it's legal and she does it doesn't mean it's right. And then if you're really believing in a God or whatever, she'll be judged after the fact, right? So that's like her thing to deal with. But if we're going to talk about it from a standpoint of child support, so we're talking about this, right here, maybe I don't want a woman to have a kid. Like, let's say I am pro-abortion, I'm all about it, right? And I'm like, no, you need to get rid of it because I don't want to pay for it. Right. Like, that's a guy saying, like, him being like, I don't want.
In that hypothetical situation.
Yeah, in that hypothetical situation. But
the man still has to pay child support.
And there's no out for him in that situation, even though.
And even, I mean, in a lot of states now, even if you sign away your rights, to the kid. Yeah. Unless somebody else adopts that kid, you always have to pay child support.
Right, you're always on that kid. Right. So it's one of those things like.
Which is fucking insane, dude.
Yeah, it's all insane. That's what I'm saying is like, and I don't know the solution. Like, what's the solution? That a man can make a woman get an abortion? That's crazy.
Or, right? I mean, and the solution is definitely not,
right, that's what I'm saying.
Opt out of child support? You know, because like,
right, yeah.
Every guy on the planet.
We'll be like, yeah, I want to get
We'll
out of
be
child
like,
support.
yeah, fuck it.
Right.
Because we're suffering right now.
Right.
Right?
I don't know. I think that, but once again, I'm one of those people that's like, let's say you're speeding in a 35 and you're going 45 and you get pulled over by a cop, but you thought that the speed limit was 45 miles an hour.
Right.
You still broke the law.
Well, that
right?
also, that's really up to the cop.
Right. And the cop doesn't even have to pull you over. Or,
well, let's say you do get pulled over and
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I didn't see the speed limit sign. I'm really sorry. Whatever.
Right.
The cop can be like, well, okay, here's a verbal warning. Slow the fuck down.
Right. Yeah.
Like the speed limit sign is posted
Right there.
right between these bushes. Like, who the fuck is going to see that?
Right.
First of all.
What I'm getting at, though, is that there are consequences. Whether you're ignorant to what you've done,
right,
being a transgression or not.
Yes.
There are consequences,
Yeah.
right? And so, like, when you get a woman pregnant, obviously you didn't take enough precautions.
Right.
Right? Like, hopefully you used a condom.
Right.
Hopefully you made sure that the condom didn't have a hole poked in it.
But James, I can't feel with the condom.
Well, you know what? Then don't go bareback having sex, or get a vasectomy and make sure that you shoot blanks.
That doesn't always work.
Yeah, we know how that goes. And so it's one of those things, like, what I'm getting at is there are consequences for actions. And it's like those, I did have a topic. Did you see the 2 girls carjacking the guy?
I love how you just like...
I'm ADHD, man. That's how my brain works.
Here we go.
Yeah. No, did you see that video?
No.
The 2 girls carjacking that 50-year-old immigrant guy and they killed him?
What?
13-year-old and a 15-year-old black girl. New York City, Washington, D.C. They try to carjack an Uber driver. He's like 55, 59 or something like that. He's in the car, has one foot in the car, on the brake.
Yeah.
Right? And one foot out. So imagine the door open.
Yeah.
The girls tase him, try and get him to
fall
out of the car.
Yeah.
It puts his foot on the gas pedal, and the car drives 70 miles an hour straight into a building. He's killed instantly.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy watching all this with his phone, not intervening.
I mean, why would you?
Oh, I would get involved. I know,
sarcasm.
right? Yes, but by the way, this was a National Guardsman.
Oh,
on duty,
not intervening.
Not intervening, recording.
Oh yeah.
Commentating.
Wow.
Like it's content.
Yeah.
You see the car go flying down the street. You get up there, dead guy laying on the ground.
Yeah. Face
down on the ground, dead.
Yep.
And the car is flipped up on its side. They get out of the car, and one of the girls, dead guy, the guy that she just killed on the ground, she's like, I think my phone's still in the car. I need to get my phone. Because she didn't want any evidence of her being there.
Wow.
And we could talk about that in more detail, but just to put a pin in that because it's a crazy thing. But back to this whole men's right. But what I'm getting at is there's consequences. If you get a woman pregnant, you have consequences.
Yeah.
If you get pregnant as a woman,
yeah,
this is very controversial. I don't know why.
There's consequences.
You have the ability to take. There are like 3 pills, right? First of all, you have birth control, so you could be taking a monthly birth control pill.
Well, now there's also a pill for men that's birth control.
Right. Yep. And that's getting there too, right? So so guys even have that option too, right? So, but with a woman, you have birth control.
Yeah.
Then you have sex. You're worried that you might get pregnant.
Yeah. Plan B.
Plan B pill. But there's 2 pills, right? Because there's the morning after pill.
Yep.
Which is the one that's like one, and then there's the Plan B pill, which is like some people say it's a lot closer to an abortion because it works up to like 7 days after.
Yeah.
I think someone will have to quote me on that, but I believe that there's 3 options. So as a woman, if you did not want to have a child and you were that worried about it, there are ways to stop it, right? So there's a point where you have to have some form of self-accountability. Like accountability needs to exist.
Yeah.
And so...
And I think that's what we're really losing in the world right now is not even really self-accountability, honestly. Like responsibility.
Yeah, because those are different things.
Those are very different things.
Yeah, responsibility and accountability are different.
Yeah. So, yes, we can be accountable to ourselves, and people are still, for the most part, accountable to themselves, but they're lacking that sense of responsibility.
Right.
And so that's a more root issue, right? Because you have responsibility and then accountability. So if you feel responsible for something, you take accountability for it.
Right.
And so we're losing accountability from taking away the responsibility from the individual person.
Right. And this all groups back into victim culture, victimhood as a currency.
Yeah.
You know, have you seen the guy that's on there that says stay woke? And then he's like, the world is going crazy, part infinity is what he has or whatever. He's on TikTok, and I was watching him last night and he was talking about it, and he was like,
yeah. And see, so my wife is saying it's controversial because of rape and the rapists, you know, not having to deal with the possibility of dying during childbirth or all that. And I'm not saying that, like, don't get an abortion if you were raped and got pregnant by your rapist.
See, I actually am 100% okay with a woman.
Yeah. If you were raped and you don't want to have that kid, that is, in my book, 100% okay.
Right. Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to live with the fucking offspring of my fucking rapist.
Right.
Like,
the way that I explain that one, the way I've always talked about that one is I actually believe that, one, if you are raped, we don't live in a society that shuns women for getting raped. We're not some country in the middle of the world that still stones women for getting raped. Okay? Yeah. This is the United States of America.
Right.
Most people are taken pretty stinking seriously if they talk about being raped.
Yeah.
No one, if a woman just walked up, you're walking down the street and all of a sudden some woman comes up to you and her clothes are tattered and she's like, I just been raped. You are going to do everything. I don't care if you're heading to a funeral.
Yeah.
You're going to do everything to help that woman right there because that's like,
you'll be late to your own fucking funeral.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because you don't, like, we don't do that here in the United States. I'm not saying globally. I'm saying in the United States. We don't look at that. We don't frown on the woman. We frown on whoever did it, and we want to help that person, right? So with that said, I actually believe that the police department, so what I'm saying is there's no excuse for you to delay going to the cops. There's no reason for you to delay. If it happens, go to the cops immediately. I'm talking the moment that you're able to,
or
do
if you're running down the street, or it just happened and there's just somebody there, like
get that person,
right? You know, whatever.
I think most people, even in crappy cities like New York City, will be like, okay, let me help.
Like, holy shit,
right?
Unless they're obviously in the gang with the guy that raped you,
right? Exactly, right. So here's where I'm going with this though. So I don't understand why you wouldn't immediately go to the cops. This is not an accountability for your actions.
Right.
This is your responsibility to yourself.
Right.
To go get the cops involved as soon as possible. And as a part of that, I think that when you are given a rape kit test and they do everything that they do, one of the things that they should offer you immediately is a morning after pill. They should say, in order to ensure that you do not get pregnant, would you like to take a Plan B pill? And then if you decide, I don't want to take that, you have taken that choice. You've made the choice at that time. This isn't an easy topic to talk about. And I know I'm not a woman and I haven't been raped and I don't understand the trauma. But what I'm saying is that you still have the ability to make choices after that fact. And so that's
and the thing,
my big thing.
Pescatios brings up, it's a shame thing and also a will people actually believe me thing. People will actually believe you.
I think people are more apt to believe more than not now.
Yeah. And it is a shame thing, and I get that part.
Oh, I understand the shame thing at all. I mean, I've had stuff happen where that's not even rape, and I've been scared to share it, right? So I could only imagine. I mean, I don't think you and I have talked about this, but during last year, there was kind of that like hashtag Me Too thing that went through the streaming and gaming world. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where there's like lists of like these streamer guys that were like coming out and stuff, and like Omid from that streaming company, the partnership company or whatever.
Yep.
And my point is that I finally came out my story because hearing all the stories, I actually remembered a trauma that I had when I was 15, where I had a gay manager at Schlossky's Deli that was sexually assaulting me. And I didn't even remember it. And I broke down and cried. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to share this story. I'm going to explain to people that this happened to me. And I think that we are at a point of society now where we are a lot more open. Could you imagine a man in like the 90s being like,
or even early 2000s,
yeah, like even like before 10 years ago, no man would have came out and told my story like I did, and no one would have supported me like they did. When I came out and talked about that story, and it's like one of those things like we're past a lot of stigma.
Dude, 2008, 2009 ish, somewhere around in there. I was a young soldier,
right?
And we were told, "Hey, you're in Hawaii. Do not go to this particular part of the island. It will be bad for you."
Okay.
They don't like us.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
Just don't go there. Fucking other soldier who came in maybe a year after I got in. Young kid. He's 19. Fucking goes to that part of town.
Bad idea.
Super bad idea. Gets raped.
Yep.
By 3 rather large guys.
Right. Yeah.
And when it all came to light at that time, right? Like, we knew something was up with him. Some of the more junior leadership were like, "Why the fuck did you go over there?" Not, "Are you okay?"
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's like, "Hey, you were in the wrong for going over there." Like, really?
No, I think those guys were wrong for.
I think those guys were way more wrong than him disobeying a "Hey, don't go over there" suggestion.
Right. Yeah. Right. One person didn't listen to a spoken policy.
Yeah.
The other 3 men
and that's how
broke the law and raped a person.
Yeah. And that's how men were treated.
Right.
Up until, I'm even going to say 5 years ago.
Yeah, this is a newer thing,
I
would say. And like I said, that this stuff we're talking about, like responsibility with like being raped and stuff like that, I don't think that really meets, that doesn't really work 5 years ago. Like I couldn't really have that conversation.
Right. And so I think the atmosphere around sexual harassment, sexual assault, and that sort of thing has really changed into the victim's favor from what used to be kind of like victim shaming, victim blaming.
Right. Yep.
And so we need to educate people better.
Right.
And not more education, because there's all sorts of education out there. We just need to make sure it's more effective.
Yeah, I think that we're getting there. I mean, like, remember with Twitch, where they at the TwitchCon, how they were showing people how they were serving drinks.
Bro.
And everybody was losing their mind about possible.
Dude,
you know, it's one of those things like it's.
That was just so fucked up. Like, I'm sorry.
It was bad. It really was. I don't.
From somebody who wasn't a partner.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
This happened at the partner soiree.
Right, yeah. But see, I don't think people talk enough about how more. And go ahead.
I don't know how you leave 40 beers with open tops just sitting on a fucking table.
Right.
For people to grab and enjoy.
Right.
You're asking for somebody to get roofied.
Have you ever drank beer? I mean, back when I drank, have you ever drank a beer that's been sitting out for, let's say 7 minutes and it's in a plastic cup?
It is gross.
It's gross because it's immediately like 65 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, in a matter of 5 minutes. It doesn't even stay cold. Second of all, that isn't safe. Yeah, and it's flat, right. It was just bad all around. But what people don't want to talk about, so this is where I started turning to like an old conservative Christian sounding person.
Yeah.
There is a huge sexual cultural issue on Twitch within the company specifically.
For sure.
That people don't talk about enough. And I don't really care. Like, I don't care that the dude that runs Chick-fil-A is against gay people because I just want to eat Chick-fil-A.
Because
I don't
Polynesian sauce, bro.
Yeah, oh, well, I'm not a big fan of that. But I do know a kid that puts Chick-fil-A sauce on everything. And when I say everything,
is it your kid?
No, it's my friend's foreign exchange student. She's from Spain and she literally puts that on
shit.
Everything.
It's
like look,
Frank's hot sauce.
Tacos. I'm gonna put it on tacos.
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
Anyway, I can't stand Chick-fil-A sauce. But what I'm saying is I like Chick-fil-A. I don't care about the morals and ethics of a person running a company because I just want a product. I want chicken sandwiches or whatever.
Right.
But with Twitch, they literally at some point, I wish I could find the article because this was crazy when I read it the first time. They actually, so it was a Glassdoor thing. There was these people going through Glassdoor reviews, and it was confirmed by multiple people that Twitch actually had in their building, their calendar. So have you ever worked in a white collar job where there's like meeting rooms? Meeting rooms will have a calendar, and you can schedule with a meeting room, like with the meeting room as if it's a person, a meeting, and then invite other people to it, right? Okay.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So you can reserve it so other people can't use the meeting room, right?
Okay.
They had a meeting room that was literally for having sex. So people would know insane. When these two people went into that meeting room that they were going to have sex. Like that was that. So if you saw two people and they were in that meeting room, it was like the equivalent of a sock on the doorknob, right?
Right. But with names on it.
They were also pressuring men into being in relationships with other men in order to keep their jobs, right? So there's this weird, it literally makes me think of like just like Roman orgies, just where, but it was like you had to participate. Like if you didn't participate,
I mean, in Roman orgies, you had to.
Yeah, you had to participate, right? So that's what I'm saying is like it's weird, and I don't care in the end. I don't really care about it, but it just shows that it permeates through like the culture of the platform.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I care about it,
right? I mean, I care to a degree. Like
right.
those
like
people
they shouldn't
can
be
leave.
Doing that,
right? But they can leave that job, right? Like if someone tells you that. I'm like, all right, sexual harassment. I'm going to file a lawsuit and I'm quitting my job. Right. You know what I mean?
I'm going to get pictures and video evidence of all of this.
Yes. And then it'd be done. Right. But unfortunately, that's what they didn't do. And that's once again goes to that shame thing. Right. Like, the fact that a man can now feel shame for not being forced into having a gay relationship with another man. Yeah. Because he isn't into men.
Right.
Because now he's afraid he'll get canceled as a homophobe or a transphobe or whatever. It's so backwards, but
bizarre.
What I'm getting at is that there is this weird cultural thing around sex that just still hasn't been figured out, and I don't know when it's going to get figured out,
or if it will get figured out,
or if it will. I mean, well, it did in Rome by a lot of people's standards of when it fell, because Rome, like you start worrying about all this bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So the quote that was given 2 weeks ago is that Americans are silly people. So you go to China right now, right? You go up to walk to to some person on the street. Yeah. Do you think that person and then the other person on the opposite side of the street are arguing about homosexuality?
Absolutely not.
No, they don't argue about the stuff that we argue. We are so privileged in our country that the shit that we argue about is dumb,
trivial.
And these people in other countries, they're like, cool, we're going to take over now because we're going to keep people pushing towards development.
Right.
We aren't doing that anymore. We're trying to talk about like some kind of emotional, moral, ethical development while they're making bounds in cloning technology and medical technology.
I mean, they already cloned our president.
I'm still not sure. I'm almost gonna buy into the fact that it's a deep fake. That it's not actually Biden.
Bro.
And I think that it's a deep fake, but
I think it's a clone.
Another one on the clone stuff. Did you see the thing with Kamala Harris?
Oh no.
Where she was laughing in this thing where she was connecting with, where she feels like she was connecting. I don't like her laugh. She annoys me. Kamala Harris actually annoys me in a lot of ways.
She's a horrible person.
She's just weird. But what was funny is what she was actually saying was actually kind of cool. And I was like, the one time I might agree with this person, she looks like she's literally on meth. Like she's crazy cackling like the whole time. She's like, and it's like, what the
I don't understand you.
So here's what she was getting at. COVID-19 made parents realize that teachers are really important.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? That's a really easy statement. If you just made it like that and sound like a normal human being and go,
it's cool.
People realize like your permanent daycare, your government funded daycare that you pay for with taxes is actually really nice because you're not around your kids all day. You could say that and be done. But she literally made it sound like a crazy person talking about it. She's like, ha ha ha. And then people realize, ha ha ha, the teacher's salaries, ha ha. I was like, oh my God.
So she was like the Joker.
Yeah, dude. It was like, or Mickey Mouse. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. So anyway, so we talked about.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh boy. Let's talk about. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, chat, people watching this video after the fact, there are talks of creating a vaccine passport that will be an application on your smart device. We're going to go through this. We're going to say this, and then we're going to walk through the absolute ignorance of this entire process. But the goal and intent of this passport is that it's not just airlines, that restaurants, places of business overall will have a scanner, and you will have to scan and prove that you have been vaccinated in order to enter their premises.
So is this going to be globally, or is it just the United States?
Probably just the United States. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like other authoritarian, like first world countries like England, not England. England's in a good mode right now. I actually kind of liking the British right now. I wasn't a big fan of England, but right now I'm actually kind of a fan of England. But like I could see this happening in France. I could see this happening in Spain. I could see this happening in a lot of other countries.
Do you think England would come back for that dub?
Maybe.
Rematch.
We win. We're not authoritarian assholes.
Round 2.
Yeah.
Fight.
Fuck. Yeah. Their like guy has like obnoxiously large crooked teeth and a cup of tea in his hand. Right? And he's got like a super slim suit on. And the American's like this fat slob of a man
tall.
who's got a vaccine needle in his arm. He's got a bottle of hydrochloroquine he's just pouring over his face.
Oh my God.
I could make this into a joke if we need to. But anyway, so where this terrifying, and I actually even cracked the joke. We cracked the joke, and I said this is like the mark of the beast, where they're gonna say, I don't believe in the mark of the beast. Let's just clear the air on that. I'm not some kind of
I do, but I don't believe it in the religious.
The Christian sense, right? Yes, I think
religious
nut
like job kind of way.
But there is this. So for those of you who weren't raised in like a crazy Christian household, there is a belief that the Antichrist is going. It's so hard to explain without starting to laugh,
it's
right?
Because
it's so fantastical,
explain.
right? Basically, that he's going to come in. He's first of all, the first thing is that there's going to be this thing with a temple in Jerusalem, right? He's going to like reform this temple. But then after that, which by the way, Donald Trump was the closest to doing that. So Donald Trump's the Antichrist. But anyway, so I love doing that one to my parents who are pro-Trump. I'm like, well, so anyway. So long story short, the Antichrist
Orange Man, Antichrist.
There's going to be a system put in place in the mark of the beast that will either be in your wrist or forehead. Yep. And you will not be able to participate in society unless you have taken the mark.
What if it's in because you have your phone?
Correct. So there's a whole theory. Well, the whole theory was like, but they say that it's going to be something
attached
permanent.
To your wrist, and now it's close to your forehead.
Yeah, I don't know. But the point is that if you, I know you're taking it far here. I'm already going through this, but
religious nut jobs.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. But the point is that you won't be able to participate in commerce. That's like the big thing that they focus on in the Bible, because basically what they're saying is you're going to go hungry and you're going to starve and you're going to die because you're not going to be able to get any goods or services rendered to you because people won't be able to do it unless you have this mark. And here we sit in a society where we're saying, well, you won't be able to go into Walmart. And what I don't understand about this,
right? And
I need a doctor. I need an actual doctor to come in here and explain this to me, and not Dr. Fauci. I want somebody else. An actual doctor. I want a doctor to come up to me because my personal doctor is actually performing his own test. Like he's doing his own series of tests with people who have tested positive for COVID. He's testing them for antibodies. They come in. He's funding the whole thing. He's like doing his own individual study, right? Yeah. But what I'm getting at is, if you get the vaccine, aren't you good?
No, you can still get COVID if you've had the vaccine.
This is where it gets hilarious. You can give the virus to other people.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is the purpose of the vaccine?
Nothing.
If you can still get the virus.
Let's look at the vaccine though.
And you can still, I don't even want to talk about the just for a moment. You can't get measles, right?
Right.
Because you got the vaccine.
Right. So it's like the flu vaccine. Right?
Right, okay.
If I take the vaccine of the flu, I've been injected with the goddamn flu.
Right. They use dead cells
of
the flu.
Or live cells if you get the nasal one.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So that one's actually a live virus. Like they're like, haha, virus.
Right. I'm giving you the flu.
Fuck.
Right.
So it's essentially that, right? The flu vaccine is optional.
Right.
For everybody.
For everybody.
Because it's a vaccine that you can still get the virus of.
Right, but the flu virus, the influenza virus, which I can't remember what it is because I'd have to remember the terms. But the virus itself there are too many strains of that virus.
Right.
And they don't know. They try to assume which virus strain is going to be viral that year.
Right.
Right. So that's what they do with the vaccines. But with COVID, there's only specifically COVID-19. There's specifically only like 3 strains, supposedly.
No.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So here's my point. So if you get vaccinated, I don't care about the effects or whatever. There are vaccines that we were given in life that work. Like there's now a chickenpox vaccine, right? There's a vaccine for smallpox, blah, 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 blah.
Chickenpox vaccine's weird though.
Yeah, I don't. They've given it like we didn't have one when I was a kid.
Yeah, you
when
just got chickenpox.
Yeah, what we did is we had parties. When a kid got chickenpox,
everybody
all the parents brought the kids over and made sure that they got it, and then all the kids had chickenpox.
Herd immunity.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah,
because it was just itchy, right? It's not like it was like life threatening. What I'm getting at is this entire year we've been talking about this vaccine, and even pro-Trump people are like, well, Trump is going to get us the vaccine. But if we're at the point where you get the vaccine and then they say you can still get the virus, you can still get sick, and you can still transmit it, what does it matter?
So they've actually changed their statements on it. And Jackie just brought it up. They're now saying that the COVID vaccine is only to lessen the severity of symptoms. But plenty of people, and she said this, yet plenty of people have done that on their own with vitamins and hydration.
Yeah, it's water, vitamin D. Hydrochloroquine is actually a good treatment, but preventative, it's vitamin D, turmeric. There's all this stuff. There's doctors doing studies on it, and they've been talking about it. And there's something. Hold on a second. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, Jackie, zinc was.
There's
on the
something.
list as well.
Oh, yeah. So it's zinc. So zinc has to have a certain thing. There's a certain type of thing that goes into
we're all
cells.
The lake nose monster.
Yes.
Have you ever seen Phineas and Ferb?
No. I just went with yes because I didn't want to.
So in Phineas and Ferb, there's a mythical beast called the lake nose monster.
Okay.
That just eats zinc.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. So from what I understand, zinc in a cell that is infected with the coronavirus will kill the virus, but there's certain carriers that you have to ingest alongside of zinc because zinc cannot enter a cell wall without this thing. I can't remember the term for it. It's called it begins with an A. Don't want to try and butcher it, but it's like an amphibia or something like that. Some weird word. And it literally is a carrier for zinc into cells. Like it brings zinc into cells.
Yeah.
And so they're doing studies on that. Sure, we'll say adamantium. Wolverine's skeleton brings zinc into cells. But what I'm getting at is that there are people who are talking about, and the other thing too is that the majority of people who become patients for COVID, where they go to a hospital, are obese.
Yeah.
So we should be focusing on better physical health and fat people and et cetera, et cetera. But instead, what I'm saying though is that it's like, when are we, as in not just we, because we're talking about it like we understand it, but I'm saying as a group, gonna realize it's bullshit. Like this is bullshit. There is no.
I mean, let's look at
common sense in this.
Let's look at something even more simple, right? Masks. Initially, Initially, Fauci's like the big doctor, and I'm putting that in hard quotes there.
Right.
Super sarcastic. The head doctor for everybody was like, well, you don't really need to wear a mask. They're not actually really effective because only this one particular mask would filter out what it needs to filter out.
Right.
And then he's like, okay, I changed my mind. We need to wear a mask. And then he's like, hey, if you're going to wear a mask like this, you need to wear 2 masks because you need this mask and this mask.
Because cloth masks do not work.
They do not work. And then he's like, so really, you should probably wear like 3 masks and like,
right.
But take them off when you sit down at a restaurant table because table force field.
Right. We talk about this all the time.
Will protect you.
I am overly obnoxious at restaurants, guys. I will actually look at my wife and be like, babe, you're in the safe zone. It's okay to take off your mask. The virus is not able to penetrate this, and I'll make this big deal.
And it's really funny. Like, here's something I just realized yesterday, right? What happened in a lot of restaurants?
I don't know.
We put up plastic barriers
that
go up this far.
Yeah. Right.
Off the back of a seat. I'm sorry. I did not know that air only traveled 12 inches.
Right. Yep. There's so many weird things. And then, like, for instance, my favorite fast food restaurant, I'm not making a shot at them at all. I love Freddy's. Freddy's is my favorite fast food when it comes to burgers and fries. So at Freddy's right now, they still have the 6 feet dots at line. They still have the plastic walls up between the people.
Yeah.
But then the tables aren't 6 feet apart.
Because you can't fucking hear them.
You can't hear them because you're talking. Yeah, no, I agree. It's hilarious. It's just there's so much about it that is so. What I'm saying is when are we going to wake up? Because I feel like right now we've all been lulled to sleep and we're all in zombie mode and we're all acting stupid.
Piscatios brings up a really good comment.
What?
So my kid has never had COVID. He's under a year. He's never had to wear a mask.
Right.
Are children immune to COVID?
No, so there was actually, and this was even at the very beginning, they were showing that the rate of infection where the kid actually had exhibited symptoms was extremely low with kids, extremely. And then the transferal rate from a child to an adult was almost non-existent. So their bodies were fighting off the virus in a way that we don't. Right? Like our bodies weren't. And they were saying this. So, but they've also modified in most states now, the separation for kids is 3 feet.
I mean,
so
why?
I mean, I don't care. I'm just saying, but back
no,
to
that's what I'm
point,
saying is like, but why even the 3 feet?
Because they think that the kid, that's what I'm saying. Just go, right? Like you just need to go all in. And that's what I'm saying. But what he's talking about though, which is absolutely fascinating to me though, is why aren't we talking about that? My 3-year-old isn't required to wear a mask anywhere, even in daycare.
Yeah,
she's not required to wear a mask. But my 5-year-old, who is only around 5-year-old,
is
because in kindergarten they're only with them, and in the lunchroom it's only kindergartners. They're all required to wear a mask. And by the way, my daughter literally wears a plastic sheet in front of her face because she's required to wear a mask. So I had her use the most minimal protecting mask possible because I wanted my kid to be able to breathe and still live as much of a normal life as she could.
Yeah.
Because it's really screwed up that she had to go.
Because it's fucking stupid.
Stupid. That's what I'm saying. And so like I see these things like there was that video of that dude going viral where he's like, if I see you not wearing a mask, I'm going to punch you in the throat because I feel like you're threatening my grandma. Here's what I'm getting at.
Did you see my response to that dude?
What? Yes, I did. And I laughed and I liked because good. But here's what I'm getting at with that. If you get the vaccine.
Piscatios said, so your daughter's teachers are also kindergartners?
Piscatios. Yes.
I mean, basically.
But do you see what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like it like my brain is just it literally locks up because I look at this and I go, if you get the vaccine, when I think of a vaccine, I'm talking about the flu shot.
Have you had the smallpox vaccine?
I mean, when I was a kid, I had that, right?
Have you ever had smallpox?
No, that's my point.
Yep.
So what I think of and what I think the general public think is that if you go and get a vaccine, you are immune.
Yeah.
That's what they think.
Yeah.
So if that's not the case,
say you or me.
It was me. Okay. If that's not the case, why get the vaccine? Now, I'm not saying like, because for me, like I got a text from the state and they're like, hey, you're eligible because you're over the age of 30. We're now giving the vaccine to everybody over the age of 30. Click this link and you can.
Well, and with all the blood clotting issues and all that
I'm not doing that. No way.
I had a tele appointment with a doctor.
Right.
Who was like, hey, you probably shouldn't get it.
Right. Okay. So this is
because
where
I have an artificial heart valve. And clotting is a severe issue for me.
Right. So what I'm saying is let's talk about people like you. You can't get the vaccine.
Right.
So now are you, because you can't, because you have a medical condition, are you no longer able to go shopping?
Oh, I'm going to go shopping.
Well, do you see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
With the system of this passport.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'll still go. Fuck you.
That's what I'm saying. When are we going to wake up? I'm not calling for some like crazy action, storm the Capitol building like some kind of idiot redneck and run around with the Confederate flag. I am saying, when are you going to wake up, use common sense, and just be like, nah, I'm good, dude. And it's funny because we were kind of hypnotized. right?
Yeah.
COVID, my dad had a stroke. So it's been a year since my dad, a little bit over a year since my dad had a stroke. And he had his stroke, and it was in February. It was right before his birthday. It was like February 2nd or 3rd, right? And the virus was just kind of being talked about, but it wasn't like we were really that concerned yet.
Yeah.
Trump was saying at that time, like, we should be cutting off travel to China because of this virus in China, yada, yada, yada. Yep. He was trying. But so I went to the hospital for my dad's thing. They had complimentary voluntary masks sitting on the thing when you came into the hospital to talk to the person. There was a mask there if you wanted one.
Right.
And it sat a sign that said, if you're exhibiting symptoms of the flu, please put on a mask.
Right.
And sit away from people. That's all it said. It was real basic.
Yeah.
We went from that to a month later being like, you can't go anywhere. We're going to shut down the country for 15 days. 15 days to slow the spread.
Right.
To we need another 15 days to 9 months later.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did that happen? Like, because I remember when they were talking about the shutdown, the absolute panic and the absolute carnage it was creating in our society. And that didn't wake people up. And then they kept going with it. I don't get it. And what I'm getting at is when are we going to start using very common sense? Like it doesn't even have to be the most accurate thing in the world. You see what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be common sense in some like, this is a given understanding and knowledge of fact. I'm saying if you get the vaccine and I don't get the vaccine, I should be fine, right? If I want to go to the grocery store and I want to get infected, sure, that's my prerogative, right? As an adult. But I don't know if like, go ahead.
So speaking on that, I'm looking at the numbers right now.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We're pulling up the numbers here. Okay.
Okay. So let's say February 1st-ish or March 1st was when Texas decided to not wear a mask anymore.
Okay. So it's been, what's today's date?
The 20.
It's the 30th. So it has been, and what was the date that it started?
The 1st.
The 1st. It's been 4 weeks, basically.
Yeah.
Since that. Okay. What was it? Texas and Florida? Did they both do that? Texas and Florida?
Texas and Florida.
All right, I'm going to look at Florida COVID cases by week. So we're pulling this up. Sorry for this little weird.
Okay. So go back here.
First of all, there were only 69 deaths in the state of Florida on March 29th yesterday.
Yeah.
That's low considering that like Indiana at its peak had like 350.
So Texas at its peak has 48,307 deaths total. Like,
okay.
Over the course of the whole year.
Right.
That are related to COVID. And they have a population, or they have had 2.79 million cases.
That's a really low death.
Bro, that's less than the flu.
Hold on, let's play math, people. What was the number of deaths?
48,307.
I'm just gonna do round numbers. 48,000, and what was the big number?
2.8 million. It just seems comical right now.
That's a 1.7% death rate.
Yeah. You said 1.7?
1.7%.
Yeah.
Which is higher than the flu. I think it's double the flu because I think the flu is like 0.9%. But yeah, it's almost double, but it's just double the flu. It's not like it's Ebola, right? Where it's like everyone died. Right. Like if you got Ebola, it was like a 70% death rate or something.
So then on March 1st, the number of cases in Texas for 7-day average was only 7,693.
Okay.
That was on March 1st.
Okay.
So then we flash forward to today.
Yeah, and it's down to 3,500.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because people stopped giving a fuck.
Right. That's what I'm saying, though, is what what happened, right?
Oh, I got an answer. People stopped getting tested.
Right. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
You've never had COVID, but you got tested and then you got COVID? Genius.
Right.
That is a masterful plan.
That's actually really funny. So that was the thing, is that the United States has been overly testing. I actually think we tested right. I don't know if I told you about it. My wife and I went and got tested because we were going to go see her parents, and her mom had just had this huge issue. Well, her parents had just had COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we were about to have a birthday party. That's what it was. And we were going to make sure we were testing, tell everybody, hey, we're tested, we're fine. There were tons of cars in front of us. It was a drive-through testing.
Yeah.
So they had this parking lot set up, and there's like 5 different lanes, and you drove up, and there's this person in these big suits.
Can we just talk about that for a minute? Drive-through testing?
Yeah, drive-through testing. Right. It's super crazy. Right. And so, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just don't know. There's too many variables. It's not a clean room. It's a garage. You just don't. It's just so many things that were just dumb. Right.
Yeah.
Now, what I don't. There are parts of the United States that have literally not changed at all. Their lives are the exact same.
Yeah.
Like, they go to the grocery store. No one puts on a mask. They all go to the bars. They all.
Yeah.
I'm talking about rural Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky. A lot of that part of the country that's forgotten.
Where my dad lives, they didn't start using masks until August.
Right. Yeah, so I'm saying it's crazy. But then at the same time, they also only have maybe one hospital in the area.
Yeah.
And that hospital probably has enough to handle the majority of cases, because they could handle 5% of the population being infected at the same time.
Right.
To a point that they need to be hospitalized.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember they were saying, this is the stuff that was cracking me up. So during COVID, they were saying hospitals are running out of room. Now, I know it's anecdotal and it's my local area, but we have a hospital that is literally right down the street from us. I can get there in about 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. And I went there and the parking lot was empty. So how are they full?
Right.
How were their beds full? But they weren't. Their beds weren't full, because then we had to go. I can't remember what we went to the hospital for. I think it was because my dad had a follow-up appointment when we went there.
Yeah.
And you could literally see all the windows were open for all the rooms. There was nobody in them.
Yep.
So we weren't overflowing. Yeah. Why did we shut down?
Because we're stupid.
It's just,
we got played.
But what I'm trying to figure out is what's the angle? What's the conspiracy? Because why would you come out with a vaccine?
We shut down so that all of the clones could replace the regular people.
I think it might be alien. That was the other topic. Did you hear about the new thing that came out from the Navy? Oh, I was going to ask you if you had any buddies in the Navy that could give us some comments.
I have
stuff like that.
Tons of friends in the Navy.
We need to know. So there was this naval ship off the coast of San Diego or LA, somewhere over on the West Coast. No, they're sitting there. They're out at sea, and all of a sudden, 4 vessels, Tic Tac shaped vessels. I don't know if you know about the Tic Tac conspiracy, because there was a Tic Tac UFO where they couldn't even catch its speed. There was this video of this guy in I think it's the Air Force, and he's there's some way that you can lock onto a target.
Yeah.
And he had to do it manually, and he finally gets it, and everybody goes nuts or whatever.
Yeah,
but it was Tic Tac shaped. It was the same it was the same temperature as the surface of the water, and they couldn't figure out what it was. And this thing was flying at 600 miles an hour at the ocean level, 5 feet above the ocean floor, above the ocean. And then they couldn't, and all of a sudden it would just stop and then go pew, shoot up in the air. They couldn't figure this thing out, right? This is a huge thing. And this is all released. That was released earlier or late last year.
That's crazy.
This year,
I'll ask Dead Seapool about it.
2019.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. In 2019, the report just came out. They're on a ship, and 4 of these Tic Tac shaped, I don't know what else to call them. It's not a structure, but ships, if for lack of a better phrase.
Sure.
They were calling them drones.
Yeah.
Were following the boats at 40 knots without issue, and they followed these boats for hours, and they just hovered above the thing. And then when they would come out and shine lights on them, they just go and they just sat there and moved all around these ships. And then they call another ship in, and they couldn't shoot them. They couldn't figure it out. They couldn't do anything to stop these things. So
aliens.
It's either aliens or like the CIA testing some brand new technology that we've had for a while, and they're testing it now to see what it's a surveillance ability. Because if you're going to survey someone, you might as well try it on yourself. Right. First. And so, like, we don't know. But
raise all the paranoia.
But it's more, right. Well, that's what I'm saying, is then everybody just thinks it's UFOs or whatever, but really it's just you testing out your technology.
Yeah.
But it is terrifying. But that's what I'm saying to you. Like, we're in this world where we've got vaccines that don't actually do everything, but they're mandatory for you to participate in. Like, that sentence alone needs to be a clip. Okay?
Right.
You have to take a vaccine in order to participate in society as a whole. It doesn't do anything. You can still get infected. You can still transmit the virus. Just that statement is so stupid. And then we also have aliens.
Well, see, I mean, okay, so here's why I think it's like either a cloning cover-up thing or like at least really, really deep faked everything, right? Like they're just replacing people. When's the last time you saw a paparazzi shot of anybody?
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Yeah, we're not getting TMZ.
Yeah. When's the last time you saw?
Oh my! Stop that.
When's the last time you've seen a celebrity in person?
I don't know. Tom Cruise did a TikTok.
No, he didn't. Tom Cruise is not on TikTok.
He is.
No, he is not.
He literally is. He does this thing with eyebrows.
He is not. Tom Cruise came out and said in a public forum that he is not on TikTok.
Oh my. We're looking him up right now.
Tom Cruise is not on TikTok.
He has an official TikTok. A verified TikTok.
He has also came out and said he is not on TikTok, and that TikTok is not him.
Chat, TikTok.
And then also look up deep faked TikToks.
Oh, I mean, that's true, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has, like, it looks like Tom Cruise.
Let's talk about TikTok. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
TikTok is nuts.
TikTok is crazy, dude. It's nuts. But
yeah.
But there's that girl that I was talking about, and she's talking about how I actually wanted to make a TikTok.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to do it after this one. And all it's going to literally say is some of y'all didn't get your ass beat as a kid, and it shows.
Oh, yeah.
It just shows, right? Like, some of these kids just didn't get their ass beat. And it's like, my parents didn't abuse me, right? My parents punished me, right? And I don't get how we've gotten to where some of these kids are like, they're so fragile, man. Like, it's mind-blowing.
Jackie said, let's talk about TikTok. You say it's Tom's account, and it's the same platform that will not remove and ban pedophiles, which actually the two accounts that had pedophile stuff on them have been banned since people started raising awareness of them actually being there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was, remember that one that escalated quickly where the guy, like, made that video, and you said it to me, you're like, man, that escalated quickly, where he's like, yeah. You raped a 12-year-old boy. Here's proof. And then he just puts the guy's picture.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, I was like, whoa! That escalated so fast.
Dude, that went so far, so fast.
Yeah, you're like, oh my goodness. But yeah,
it just started out as like a little TikTok feud thing, and then the dude's like, yeah, you molested a 12-year-old boy. And I'm like, oh my God.
Right. Yeah, that was weird.
Like, that went from like 12 miles an hour.
Yep.
To 1,000 miles an hour that
real
fast.
Quick. And it's like some guy, you know what I mean? It's just
some random dude.
But no, I feel there is this weird, I want to call it existential dread that I think is happening because millennials, which were raised in the internet, right, which were raised in an internet age, are trying to figure out.
I guess we're zennials, which is a new thing.
Well, so right, because I argue that it's cool that you can set like rough boundaries of ages, but I actually argue the biggest difference between like myself and other millennials is basically the difference of how you access the internet. So like my first introduction to the internet was not on a mobile device. It was on a computer that weighed 35 pounds, had a monitor that by itself weighed 25 pounds.
Right.
And you had to go through dial-up, and access to the internet was very limited, especially because the majority of people were through America Online, which was like its own bubble. It wasn't the World Wide Web. It was just
I mean, it was the World Wide Web, but
right. But AOL tried to funnel you into only AOL's bubble instead of having you just go to like www.google.com.
Do you know my dad found the other day?
What?
An AOL prepaid card that he had.
That's awesome. I wonder if it
for
still
the
works.
internet.
Whatever. Yeah. Well, so like people like I had Juno. Did you ever have Juno?
I did. Yeah.
So Juno was one for those of you. I'm gonna start really dating myself. So in late 90s, there was a service that was free. It was called Juno, and basically it was just email.
Yep.
And you basically would type out your email and hit the send button. It would dial in, connect, send the email, disconnect. So when I was having conversations with people for free, I would literally dial, type out. You would communicate in paragraphs.
Yeah.
And then the other person would respond to you with yours, and then have like little lines and like each response to it.
Yeah.
And it was back and forth and slow. And then there was Net Zero, which was free internet. See?
Net
See?
Zero.
I can pull out the old stuff. Man. CompuServe, there's CompuServe, there was Net Zero. Net Zero was awesome because it was free internet access.
Yeah.
But you had to like click ads. There was like this weird thing that came up.
And you had the weird little box thing that plugged into your phone line. There was like a Net Zero thing that you could get. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Net Zero was awesome. And when I was a kid, I signed up for a titty site. This is hilarious.
Oh, God.
A titty website as an ad provider. Okay. I created a scripting bot that would click the ad every 2 hours. I would connect to Net Zero when I went to bed, and this thing would auto-click the ads and get me ad click revenue. And then I would get a check. I was like 15 years old, and I would get a check from this. My mom was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it." And it would be like a check for like $156. Back then, $156 a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
For a teenager to have. And I was getting $156 a month from this script that I set up that worked through the evening while I slept. I was getting paid to do nothing. Like, it was the dumbest thing ever.
Funny.
And it's one of those things like I have such fond memories of early internet because it was so abusable. Like, it was so Wild West, man.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
I mean, okay, let's look at how actual Wild West it was. Napster got taken down. Right? AIDS popped up.
Right.
In the form of LimeWire.
Right, yes. Yeah, right. No, it's true.
They're like, oh, yeah, you want to get rid of our fun times? I don't think so, Jack. AIDS. What? And we were like, we love AIDS. AIDS is amazing. We just fucking... Look, I can download all the music. 16,000 viruses later.
Right, yeah.
I have this one song. I have to reboot my computer.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is so that's my big divider, is they don't know the world pre-internet as we know it today.
I feel like if you don't know the world pre-T-Mobile Sidekick,
that's a great dividing barrier, right? That's a great...
Dude, I miss my T-Mobile Sidekick.
Sidekicks were badass. My wife had one, and I was so jelly. I had
the transparent purple one.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Do you remember the console? Does anyone remember the console that was... Who was the manufacturer? Hold on.
Oh, yes, Computer AIDS.
There was a console phone.
Yes, it was.
It began with an N.
N64?
No, it was a handheld cell phone console. So it was like, imagine a Game Boy that also operated as a cell phone. Hold on, I gotta look this up. I can't remember if you guys remember this.
Neo Geo.
I think Neo Geo was the manufacturer, but I can't remember. So hold on. Cell phone console early.
Do you remember Bonsai Buddy?
2000. No, I don't remember Bonsai Buddy.
Bro, Bonsai Buddy was the biggest set of fucking hackware ever, and we all put it on our computers voluntarily.
Yeah. The N-Gage.
Oh, the N-Gage.
It's the Nokia N-Gage.
Yep.
It was a console, and it was like $380 in like 2001. And it was...
Pesquedio said it right before you, but Twitch kept deleting his message.
Oh, I'm sure that they...
It had Sega games on it.
Yeah, it was Nokia, but it had like Sega games. But it was like, I mean, that's it. That's the picture of it. It's so archaic and stupid looking. And that was only like 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And like now your phone plays games that your Xbox One plays.
Yeah.
On your phone.
There's actually a ripoff of Tarkov on the Apple Store right now.
Is it really?
For mobile.
That's funny. There's
Dude,
Xbox
Tarkov.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, no, did you know that Xbox Game Pass
Oh yeah.
is it's already on Android, but iPhone we're getting it like next month.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to play any game that is on the Xbox Game Pass on your phone.
That's buck wild, dude. I can play Halo mobile.
Yeah, dude, Halo multiplayer on your phone.
Bro.
Crazy.
I will go back to actually carrying something for a game around on my person all the time because I have my phone and I have my Xbox controller.
Mm-hmm. You get they've got those really cool kits that have a charging port, so you can plug it into the controller, and then it hooks your controller into the phone, charges your phone while letting you use a controller, and you can sit there and mobile game. Like, and that's the thing is like now, why buy a Nintendo for your kid? Just buy a last gen iPhone.
Right.
And a controller.
Or like
there you go.
Like my little iPad I got for like $100.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. Boom. You're ready to game,
It's
bro.
got iOS 14 on it. Let's go. Yeah.
You're ready to game, man.
Spend $140 for a full system.
Yeah, for a full console playing current gen games.
Yeah. That's so dumb.
That's why Microsoft's pivoting away from giving a shit about their consoles.
And it goes everywhere.
Right. Yep. And supposedly you can actually download some of your games to your phone.
So like with Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
We knew we were going into the mountains and don't have really good signal, so we downloaded some movies off of Disney Plus onto our iPad.
Your phone. Right, or your pad, yeah.
So our kid could watch it in the back seat because we were on like a 15-hour car drive or whatever.
Yeah, it's just we're in such a weird
dude. What cell phone service does not have decent internet right now? Unless you live out in the fucking boondocks of the middle of nowhere, every cell service right now has great coverage and service. Unless you're like in the middle of Florida using Verizon, because that's an AT&T spot, really.
Right.
Or like you're in the middle of goddamn BFE, West Virginia, where all the mountains block all the cell towers.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have to be in pretty specific places, right? And then even then, dude, hold on.
But he's talking about to stream games with actually T-Mobile in a lot of spots has good service now.
T-Mobile here is fantastic.
Yeah, T-Mobile in Indianapolis is amazing.
It's T-Mobile and Sprint combined. They're on the same network, so you have both.
You got them. But so he's saying but to stream games with a decent FPS on your phone, they're going to be running from a server side and then coming this way. And so all your FPS is dictated by that server anyway.
Right.
So you can, and the phone is only getting 60 hertz.
The new Samsungs have some 240 hertz displays, if you
for their cameras.
Right. I don't think the display itself
is not.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. If you look at where we're going, what's his name? Elon Musk has the new internet. What's the new? What's the new?
Musknet.
Yeah, what's the new network that they're putting up? It's not Skynet, but we call it Skynet.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Starlink. Yeah, Starlink.
Pesquettios.
So Starlink is going on. There are people that have gig wireless in their house.
Yeah.
In the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
We are heading to a point.
Skynet.
Well, yeah, Skynet. But I think that what I'm getting at is, so you and I talk about this all the time. Like, I just want to live my life and blah, blah, blah. You know, now, as long as I can dig a well, even if it's 180 feet deep down in New Mexico to get to water, and I can buy a bunch of solar panels, and I can go out there and I can have full access to the internet.
Yeah. I don't need to do anything else.
I don't need to be in a city.
Yeah.
And I could literally spend all my money.
Yeah.
And do that. And then if you think about it to the next level, if I start reservoiring that water and I go and make a giant initial purchase of fertilizers.
Yeah.
I could literally do a hydroponic garden or an aquaponic garden with fish
on
my property and have that electricity running from solar panels, geothermal, blah, 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 all in. You buy a house, the property and everything, it's like $180,000.
Yeah.
And it's literally sustaining. You never need to go to the store anymore. Maybe for spices if you want to buy different spices and stuff for your stuff.
But then you still don't need to go to the store.
Right, because you could technically, you can Amazon deliver it through a drone to your house.
Yeah.
You don't need to live in cities anymore. We went full circle here.
Yeah.
We're heading to that point. So let's act like it and start adjusting society appropriately. Because, like, I mean, the way that it's going right now, our property is going to be worth $500,000 in another year or two.
Or you can grow your own spices.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You just grow your own. You'd be like, hey, you know what? I need the seeds for this plant. Amazon will deliver them to you.
Yeah.
Right. But
via rocket ship.
But yeah, but then you'd also have internet, right? So you can still have the connectivity and see people,
right?
But live in your own little.
You get that little Facebook thing that moves with you whenever you're talking on the phone. Like,
yeah,
fuck it.
Sit there and have conversations.
Yeah.
You dedicate one TV that has a camera on it that can see the whole room.
Yeah,
and it's just like you're in the same room with somebody the whole time.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? Crazy.
Why are we still having this podcast here?
Well, no, I mean, that's like kind of my thing is like, we're heading to this. It's just weird, man. Like I don't know. What's Chad got to say? There's somebody on YouTube watching, but they haven't said anything. Hi, YouTube person.
Hello, YouTubes.
We're mostly talking to people on Twitch because that's where most people catch us.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I got anything to talk about?
I feel like we hit all of our subjects right there
all
together.
It's so crazy, dude. Dads are winning. Dads are going to be with their kids.
Internet's going crazy.
And you can get a vaccine that does nothing. Ta-da!
I mean, yeah.
I just don't get it, man. I don't
either.
And chat's not helping me. Anything else? I'm trying to think of something else that maybe the biggest thing was the vaccine passport.
Yeah.
When I saw that, because I had told my parents that 8 months ago, I was like, here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Vaccine's going to come out, and then they're going to require it for you.
So one of my big things is, with the vaccine, just since we're on that topic, this new permeable bandage. Oh, you haven't seen it?
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
They put the bandage on you before they give you the vaccine. And then they poke the needle through the bandage and then into you.
Okay.
And then when they pull it back out, the bandage seals itself back up. I mean, sure. But what's in that bandage is that they're also putting into your skin.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right. You just don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't think we shouldn't trust the system, right? But like, how was it that someone explained it to me? When, I can't remember what disease it was that happened. Oh, polio. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Polio. Polio was scary.
Yeah, everybody had horses and those big-ass mallets.
Right. So polio was terrifying. I heard this being explained. And everyone was storming wanting the vaccine.
Yeah.
Okay, for their kids, for themselves, they were storming. You see anybody storming for a COVID vaccine?
Nope.
I think that's the barometer of how scared of it the general populace is.
Yeah.
If the general populace, like if you couldn't get in to get the vaccine, I understand there is for older people. And I think that's okay. Like, you know what? If I was in my 70s, I would go get the vaccine. Yeah. I'd probably go get the vaccine if I was in my 70s, even if it just lessens symptoms. If that's all you told me, it was like it reduces your risk of death.
Like, cool.
I'd be like, cool, I'm going to go get the vaccine.
Yeah.
But as a 36-year-old guy,
God,
I don't care. I don't care. Right? Yeah. Like, I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I will risk it. I'm cool with going to Kmart. I almost said Kmart. I'm cool to going to Walmart without a mask on.
Showing your age.
Show my age here. Damn. I'm going to go to Sears Hardware.
Did you see the TikTok about Kmart?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I died.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, I have to tell you something. What? It's like, I found a Kmart. You were fucking lying.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I love it. It's so good, dude. It's so true. Because it's like, it is. It's so rare. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like hit this just weird. Like, I've had a bunch of people unfriend me, by the way. I was noticing, like, so I go through Discord to try and, like, clean up the conversations and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Groups that I'm in that, like, no longer are happening conversations or something.
Right.
And I was clearing through it, and I saw a buddy, and I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Just, like, and then...
You're not connected to this person.
Nope, no longer. He's no longer on any of the servers that I'm connected to. He's in his own
People are fucking weak, man.
Yeah, and they've went to this point where it's like, well, I don't want to talk to you because one time you said something that I don't agree with, right? and I don't get it. I'm genuinely confused.
You know, I don't either, because like I've had some hard conversations with people that I didn't want to hear that information. It's just not. I don't care.
Right.
I'm not friends with that person.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it's like, I don't get it, man.
I've been in fights with people, like knockdown, drag out fist fights with people.
Yeah, and still buds.
And like, hey man, just calling to check and make sure you're okay.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that we live in such a weird world. Now, don't get me wrong. I have had relationships recently, relationships that I had for a long time, that when they ended, and by ended I mean like we're not really in, like we don't talk to each other even on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that. Like I'm not like hurt or upset, and I don't think that there was anything that happened, any one thing that happened that like made it happen. It's just like we just kind of drifted apart or whatever.
Pescetio said if he stopped talking to you every single time you said something he disagreed with, he would have missed out on a lot of good times. Why are you getting all sappy in here, man?
Oh no, Pescetio's he's a good dude. I've known him for a couple years now, and it's like one of those things. Like I want to meet him in person, but probably won't ever, because I won't be able to travel up to New York unless I drive, and I'm not driving to New York. So, and I also don't really have a want or need to go to the state of New York
ever
at all. Like
ever.
Like New York, the only thing I could possibly do is I have a buddy up there that duck hunts, that I might want to go on a duck hunt with him.
But just buy a regular Nintendo.
It's true. But I could also have him come here, right? And we have duck hunting is here as well. So it's like one of those things. Like it's not like now there's certain states like Texas where the only reason I want to go is so I can hunt sandhill crane. That's a dream hunt for me. It's one of the things I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to hunt sandhill crane. But you know, other than that, like,
you know,
I have a whole lot of need to go to Texas.
You know what I want to hunt?
What?
American murder logs.
I don't know that.
Alligators.
Oh. You can do that in Florida.
You can.
I wouldn't mind going and killing a croc or two. And
alligators. We don't have.
Wait, they only have gators. They don't have crocodiles down there as well.
Those are way bigger. Yeah, and predominantly around the Central River.
I thought that they said that like crocodiles are present in the United States.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we only have alligators.
Because they said it's all about their smile. That's how you can tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile.
Well, the front of their snout and how big they fucking are.
How big do gators get? 12 feet? 15 feet?
No, not that big. 8. And crocodiles get fucking huge. Josh said if you come to Texas, he's going to hunt you.
Crocodiles in the U.S.
Are there crocodiles?
Crocodiles and alligators belong to a group of reptiles called crocodilians.
Crocodilians.
Of the 23 different species of crocodilians in the world, 2 species are native to the United States and South Florida, the only place where both of the species coexist. So, yeah, there's crocodiles in Florida.
Huh. Interesting.
So that's the only place.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd hunt them. I'd eat them. They're good. They're tasty. I've had gator meat. I don't mind it. But yeah, no, I've always wanted to go to Florida.
A 15-foot gator?
Or Florida. Yeah, gators can get pretty big.
I don't know. I just want to hunt them for just one time.
Yeah, just to get a gator because their meat's good.
Yeah.
And you can sell their hides for really expensive.
Yeah.
They're
for
pretty
boots.
Good. Yeah, for boots.
And
I wouldn't mind having gator skin boots. That would be cool. Kill a gator, eat it, use the skin to make your own pair of boots.
And a hat.
And a hat.
And a belt.
Never wear those.
I would never wear them.
I would wear the boots.
I would not wear the boots.
Because if you think about it, you wear a pair of jeans, and okay, hold on. Imagine cowboy boots with a square toe, not the pointy toe, right? And you put on a pair of jeans over them. It's going to look like a pair of gator skin shoes.
Nah, I'm combat boots.
Oh, you could do that too.
Yeah.
You can do that. But yeah, no,
Could you imagine gator skin combat boots, bro?
That'd be pretty cool.
I would wear the fuck out of
that. I wear those. Or like if you had gator skin sneakers, like sneakers that looked really neat, but then they were made with gator skin on the that'd be pretty cool.
Like the Nike function. Like the little Nike logo or whatever. Like put your own logo on a set of shoes. Is gator skin?
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
That'd be dope.
But no, but that's what I'm saying is like
gator skin Crocs.
That's hilarious. That is ultimate dad. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, Biscotti just said that. But are they permanently in 2-wheel drive or are they in 4-wheel drive?
What?
Strap up or strap down?
Oh, that's funny.
Off-road Crocs, hold on.
Yeah. Who puts them on with the thing on the heel?
If you're going to go off-roading.
Okay. I always put them in the airway because they're like slippers to me.
It's sport mode.
Oh. That's pretty funny. Is that what they call sport mode?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Like, I think Crocs is going under, by the way.
Are they?
Yeah, because all these companies realize that all it is some cheap, shitty plastic foam with holes in it. And so a bunch of companies started making the same quality level of Crocs. And then they were like, but we only charge $7 for our shoes because it's molded or whatever. Yeah,
I don't understand Crocs, bro.
I love them, dude. Now, the thing is I equate Crocs to indoor-outdoor slippers. It's a slipper that I can slide on and take outside real quick because I don't care about them. And like if I get something,
that's why I perma-tie my shoes.
Well, I mean, or mine, right? I perma-tie my shoes. But what I'm saying is like my Crocs, I can go out barefoot in my Crocs and step in mud and not care because I can hose off my foot. And then I can hose off the shoe and it's done. Like that's
at the same time.
It's like a flip flop.
Yeah.
That doesn't have sex with my big toe
gap. Men's flip flops.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny? I did not wear flip flops until like 3 years ago. Like I did not wear anything.
Bro, I still really don't wear flip flops.
I don't like flip flops.
I've bought like 4 pairs. Do not wear them.
No, I would rather walk barefoot.
Yeah.
Than have a flip flop on.
Yeah. And I also, because I was like trained to walk silently and like not make noise when you walk, hearing and knowing that the flip flop is on my foot, fucking hate it. I'm like, I cannot be stealthy in the fucking flock. I'm coming to get you. Like
two sounds, stupid. Two sounds that absolutely annoy me to no end. Someone walking in flip flops in like a building that's like got like the wall, like marble floors, echoey walls, and women with high heels in those same buildings. I cannot stand.
Cannot.
This weird like echoing everywhere. I want to scream. So yeah, I'm one of those guys. Like you see me wearing flip flops. Where were we? They were like, sir, you have to have your shoes on. So I put my flip flops on. And I took 20 steps away from the person and then immediately just put them back in my hand and just kept walking without my flip-flops on.
I'm the type of person that if you catch me wearing flip-flops, I'm probably going to a shower or just coming out of a shower.
You know, let's talk about that. You just brought up another subject. This has nothing to do with the podcast. This is just us shooting the shit. Do you have issue? You can think I'm crazy. With showering in a room with other men?
No.
Well, you don't. I do. I want my privacy in the shower.
Bro, I have been stuffed into a shower with 40 other dudes.
Okay. So, but this is weird. If you go into any girl's locker room in the United States or at a campgrounds or at a thing, women's showers are individual bays.
No, they're not. Not all of them.
The majority of them.
Nah.
So like every high schooler I know, every person I'm like in high school, when you went to the gym, but the guys' restroom, every guy's shower, everyone. I've never seen a shower for men that has individual bays.
I have.
It's always a fucking wiener fest.
No, I've definitely
full of shower heads.
My experience with this
is like
the
military,
complete
which is
opposite
different,
of yours.
That's crazy.
Right.
I don't know a single person when I ask them. Like I ask a dude, every single dude I know, their locker room was giant.
At gyms like LA Fitness and all these other places, everything is private.
Yeah, see the LA Fitness right here?
Yeah.
Right down the street, this LA Fitness.
Yeah.
It's all one big room. It's a giant shower room. Like it's a room like this with just shower head, drains everywhere.
Weird.
And there's no curtains even. There's not even like a curtain around each one. It's just a giant room.
Don't be a pussy.
I just want my privacy.
Why?
Because I don't want people looking at me naked. I want to look at other people naked.
Don't look then. Ain't nobody trying to look at you naked. You walk in, you face the wall, you fucking...
Well, I mean, guys, we have our etiquette, but you never know. There's some weird, creepy dude that's into little wieners that's one...
It's fucked up.
What I'm saying is, I don't know. I just think it's weird that, like, women all of a sudden get that. And, like, in my gym class, there was a teacher, and his whole job was to sit and watch and make sure no one did anything stupid in the shower. So it's literally a guy who's paid to watch 17-year-old boys in a shower.
Yeah.
It's a really weird thing to
I mean, I guess I just don't have that
I
issue.
just think it's weird.
I also don't have that issue with like co-ed showers, right?
Yeah, that's
because I've had to have co-ed showers before,
right.
It doesn't even faze me.
Right. Yeah. Just
I've literally watched a woman during a ruck march stop and be like, "Hey, cover me." And I'm like, "What? And she literally was like, and just peed, right? Like leaned up against a tree, peed.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Was like, "All right, let's go." And I'm like,
sure, that wouldn't bother me.
All right.
That doesn't bother me. But like her being all of a sudden being like, "Hey, I'm going to just get naked right here under this tree because it's raining and I want to shower." That would be kind of odd to me.
When we had to do like field expedient showers and shit.
Sure. But that's a military thing. Like I'm saying the average
That's a camping thing. You can do that camping.
Yeah, but it would also, I don't go camping with complete strangers.
I mean, how often are you really showering with complete strangers?
I don't. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like if you go to the gym and you shower every time you go to the gym.
Really, bro?
I don't. There's a lot of people that supposedly do.
Really, bro?
I mean, dude, I used to know people that rode their bike into the office.
That's how you fucking, it's timing, right? So you're like, oh, the shower's in use right now. I'm not going to go in there.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to change my schedule around. Right. I'm just saying. It's just weird to me that men's locker rooms are like this open. I remember my high school's gyms, the bathroom stalls didn't even have doors on them.
You won't pee in like a cattle trough?
Oh, I'll pee in a cattle trough. I don't care.
So what's the difference?
The big difference.
It's not a big difference.
My naked fat body.
It's not a big difference. Your dick is out either way.
I mean, that's true. Your dick is out. But I guess
like what's the difference between peeing in a cattle trough at a bar, right? Or wherever else they have cattle troughs.
Yeah, I just think of the Indy 500 track. That's what
Indy 500 track, which is basically a big bar with race cars. Tell me it's not a big bar with race cars.
I feel like everyone in the United States needs to go to the Indy 500
at least once
in the pit.
Yeah.
Like down in the pit at least once to experience the majority of America.
Yeah.
It is white trash, redneck people having the biggest bash. They don't even give a shit about the cars.
And those white trash people aren't necessarily white.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Right, yes. I'm just using that as like
you got a big heavy set black dude who's drunk as fuck.
Yes.
With a fucking MAGA fucking hat on. Like,
right.
Woo! I just saw that car do 700 miles an hour.
And now I'm just going to keep getting drunk. Like, that's the whole purpose of that.
Like, dude, the race has been over for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. People leave couches in the middle. Like, it's the craziest time in the world. I haven't taken my wife yet.
But it's great.
I've told my wife I want her to go. But if we go, we have to somehow go.
People can see his beehole in the shower. You worry about people seeing your beehole in the shower.
It's quite
see, I just I don't care.
Right. That's fine. But what I'm saying is I'm just saying that like I like privacy in certain situations, right? And so when I'm going into a shower, that's the time I want privacy. And I don't understand why our culture is like, guys, open room, women, booths.
I mean, other cultures are like, there you
go. Right? Yeah. Oh, okay. So no, here's a good point. I was in China.
Yeah.
Okay. We were on this bus trip. And we left from the 14th largest city, which, by the way, the third largest city, which has 14 million people.
Yeah.
Massive city. We went from there, from Guangzhou to a place called Yangshuo, which is like this
type of chicken.
The closest thing I could think of equivocal would be like Gatlinburg, but it's like a big water area, like big lakes and these weird mountains and shit. On that trip, you go through a lot of rural China.
Yes.
And we stopped at a station. I don't know really what else to call it because it wasn't like, I guess you call it a rest stop.
Okay.
The bathrooms in China.
Yeah.
For men.
Yeah.
Imagine a 1.5 foot wide cut trough in a floor in a room that is angled down.
Yeah, you just pee on the floor.
And that's the whole thing. So if you're pooping, you hover over the line and you poop in the hole. And you're hoping that the guy's pee up the thing is helping push your poop down into the. That's the whole system. That was it. That was the whole room. No sinks. Literally a room like this size with 2 troughs, one on that side, one on that side. So then when you're taking a dump, first of all you have to squat, which American legs are not prepared for because it's not like we squat like that all the time.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there and then I was just like, you know what? Nope. I'm just gonna hold this until I get to an actual toilet. And it was terrible. But there's all these dudes in this room and they're just staring at each other. And that's just, to me, that's just weird. Like that's another moment that I kind of want privacy when I'm taking a shit.
I mean, I don't really care.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying, I think the general group of people do care.
I've shit in a bag and thrown it out of a tower before, so like.
I mean, I don't have necessarily full shame. I have IBS. There's been times on the side of the road I've just went and then like stopped my car and just walked out to the side of the road and took a shit. Like I get it. Like there's times
like there's a lot of inhibitions that just like.
Oh yeah, when you're about to shit your pants, things go out the window.
That just go by the wayside.
Yeah. The story
we're stopping right now.
My dad and I are going. We're going to this fishing spot that he supposedly had when he was a kid. We're driving and we're on this back road. And he's like, yeah, there's a gas station just right up here. And I'm like, okay. Then we go a mile. Gas station isn't there anymore because it's been literally 30 years since he's been here. And so we keep driving and I'm like, just stop the car, man. And I just run into this, what looked like a little stand of woods, all briars. And I run through all of them, dude. I've got cuts on my face, all over my body. Didn't care. Took a squat, took a poop.
What did you walk into? We're talking about public showers and how James is a big wiener.
No, I have a little wiener. That's why I don't like public
you are a
showers.
big wiener, not have a big wiener.
But anyway, yeah, no. So anyway, I just wanted, that was a whole side thing. That was just bonus content because that wasn't really at all what we're here to talk about. But I just think that.
I don't know. I just don't have that issue. Like, at all.
I get it. I mean, I get it.
Like, I'm not going to wash your back for you. But like.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's just, I don't know. It's just like.
I just don't care.
Like the idea of like.
I can also lay down in the floor and pee my pants. So like. It's really hard.
Actually,
the first couple of times you do it is real weird, but you know.
Right, but then after that you just get used to
it. Yeah.
But no, I just.
Like, well, this is my job.
I get paid to pee myself. Yeah, no,
it's a weird ass job.
Yeah, I had a buddy that did a skit where he peed his pants, and they said it took them like 3 hours. He had to pee. He had to pee.
Yeah, like you can't hardly hold it.
And he was just trying to record it where he was like standing up and he was like, and he peed his pants and he could not. He said it took forever to get through that mental break.
Yeah, no, I could literally like pee my pants right now.
Crazy.
And I guess it's the same kind of mentality thing is like, I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could. I don't want to try it right now.
I mean, don't try.
But I'm just like, I wonder if I could. But see, the thing is like if you put on anyway. All right. Kat, you guys got anything else before we go?
What?
If I was wearing a diaper, I wonder if it'd be like, well, I'm wearing a diaper, it doesn't matter. Like if it would break the psychological barrier or if it would still be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
You have anything else? Because we're going to go. Because I've got to go watch my kids so my wife doesn't murder. Which chat is not loading for me.
Nobody's saying anything.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, someone said, what did I walk into? And the last thing I have is Jack's Logic saying, of course, Mrs. Pugh, from like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, thanks, everybody. We're going to cut this stuff. Make sure you go to the YouTube, like it, and comment.
Yeah.
We need to make a couple of those. We need to, like, I need to go into a Walmart with you.
Yeah.
And then have you go, like, can I get a yeah? Then I just do it from there.
Yeah. No, you can just walk into Walmart and do that shit, dude. Like, people will respond.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, so I was buying arrows. This is another little bonus thing for you guys. I was buying arrows the other day, right? I had 2 of them in my hands. I'm running through Walmart.
This is safe.
Right. Well, I mean, they don't have any tips on them.
Okay.
And I've got the fletches out here, so like people can see them.
Right.
Because they're bright green and yellow. Dude's like, bro, it's not Call of Duty. Stop running around.
That's funny.
He's down the aisle, right? I literally run toward my wife, fucking ninja slide at her, and fucking
yeah, like the guy with the 2 sticks or whatever. That's so funny.
Dude, I turn around and look at him, and I just like straight dead eye right at him.
Yeah.
He is cracking the fuck up.
Yeah. Why not? Have some fun in life.
I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Dude, my knee hurts so bad. Cause like I had no knee pads on or nothing.
Yeah.
I just fucking concrete floor. Bam!
Went for it. Yeah, I've done similar things.
Well, I'm too old for that.
Yeah, you've passed the age of recoup, right?
Of bouncing back immediately.
That's like 27, 28.
No, 25.
Yeah, that kind of goes away. But
25,
anyway.
your bones start to go, probably don't do that. Oh, you did it again? Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, all right, chat. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Nope.